I don't watch your TV show because it's very. Let me finish. It's very difficult for me to watch my friends in various situations. My friends from Housewives, I stopped watching them because I know them, and I don't want to see my friends in a certain situation, so I had to stop watching. But what about the stress of the TV show? Because your show comes across to me, what I have seen, as sometimes being stressful. Let's be honest with you. By the way, this is new information. I didn't know you were.
Yeah. Well, it's not that old of a diagnosis.
Yeah.
But
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah. Being someone who's been fit for a long time, you're a physician. How do you feel to have a diagnosis that you've spent a career knowing that it's not a great diagnosis and it's preventable in most cases, not all cases?
You want the truth?
Yeah.
I feel like I wish I had more time.
What's up, Ian?
Hey guys,
Welcome
what's
to
up?
my channel. What's going on? We did
I'm in the house.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
Yes. So
to be with you guys.
Gregory and Ian went to college together, and I was just listening to them. I was just listening to them about their experience in college. I said, y'all sound
medical
like,
school actually.
Well, medical school. I said the experience must have been like traumatic or something because the way you guys have that bond.
It was everything, right? It wasn't traumatic between us. It was traumatic in the environment we were in. We went back in the day, and there weren't many of us, and the social politics were not great. So we bonded, had a good time, right?
Yeah, we did. We really did have to bond because it was like you're so afraid.
Yeah.
You're so afraid. Hell yeah.
Well, I wasn't afraid, but I hear what you're saying.
I was terrified. I was terrified, man.
I feel like
patients for the first time.
Scarred him. I swear he wake up in the middle of the night like, oh my God.
Yeah, man, it was frightening.
It was frightening.
Yeah, it's a responsibility.
I could be a loner. So to me, I was insulated by my confidence. Some would say overconfident. But to me, as a kid, I realized in college that, as an African American guy, you have to insulate yourself with confidence.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
If you don't have that armor of confidence, you're done, right? Because there's so many different ways you're getting attacked. Mm-hmm. And it breaks you down, that you have to feel like I belong, I'm great, I can do this. And, that has to be your mantra. So I really lived that. So I wasn't intimidated. It was frustrating sometimes, right? That we were by ourselves a lot, right?
Yeah. Well, I will say that you did project a little confidence with an edge, which I liked a lot because, and then, I was trying to guide his career and he was trying to guide my career. and Brad had his own, Brad just knew what he was doing.
Yeah. Brad is our third friend who was in the middle, basically. Right? I would say Brad was in the middle.
I would kind of say that too.
Yeah.
But see, the thing about Brad was, you would never know he was in medical school. Like, he just was so cool with it.
Yeah.
He was just
very laid back.
That'd be the last thing you talk about. He was a genius, but that's the last thing people would say. It's just how cool Brad was and how laid back Brad was.
Meanwhile, he was a car aficionado, had this blue Mustang.
Uncle Ricky.
Oh, he got you the blue Mustang?
Yeah, he had the Mustang, and
Y'all thought he was, he was
y'all or
a rich
him?
kid?
No, he thought
I can't control what they thought. I can't control
what
what
did
they
you
thought.
think of him and his personality?
What I think of Greg, honestly?
Yeah.
I thought that, first of all, Greg was very smart. I met him in a rotation, a psych rotation. You remember that?
First one.
Yeah, my first rotation there, I was a psych, so he was very smart. But also, I feel like that Greg had been alone for a long time, like the only. You know what I'm saying? The only brother doing stuff, kind of. And so I think that Greg had to build his thing to survive. I mean, I think a lot of times you were in survival mode, by the way. And I think Brad and I allowed him to be like, okay,
this is
we can download.
It just got there, bro. It just got there. I was an undergrad. I've been cooked for 4 years. They just got there. I was like.
So where are you coming from? You were coming from.
So my first 2 years were at Dartmouth Medical School.
Okay.
Then I transferred to U of C. Greg went to U of C undergrad and to the medical school, so he just went and the high school.
No, I didn't. I went to Bloom Trail.
Oh, okay. So he went to undergrad, then he went to grad school, and Brad just went to med school too. So Brad and I kind of were new to the environment, so he'd already been kind of out there slugging by himself
That's
Until
that's the way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took me back to
Way to
he
put
took,
it.
took me back to the medical school, and we walked the halls, and I saw his picture.
You saw his picture on the wall?
Yeah.
Now that's iconic, by the way.
That is
Yeah.
iconic.
So
Yeah.
yours is up.
Mine
Yes.
is up there.
Okay.
I saw about 6 months ago. I walked by it, showed my kids. Yeah,
Wow.
it's iconic. You know, that's a. And then if you look at those pictures, though, you look at how many black people were in those early pictures.
It wasn't a lot.
There weren't a lot.
Not a,
Yeah, we used to walk by that wall all the time because that wall where the pictures are is on the way to the first lecture hall.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
Well, they
walking-
changed the location. The old location was by the first lecture hall. They changed it now, but
They moved our picture. They
Yeah.
moved our class's
yes,
picture.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yeah. But yeah, it was a time. It was a time. So we had a good time. You know, life's been good. Can't imagine it's been this long, huh?
Man, I can't imagine.
Look where you are. I'm on my 28th book.
Yeah.
Whoever thought
Yeah,
that, right?
28.
Never thought.
That's a lot of books. You must
I-
got a lot of patience.
No, you know, I got to tell you, writing for me is somewhat therapeutic.
See, this is the thing about this is my rub with Ian, right?
Okay.
Because Ian was a little bit edgy. He was arrogant. He had the surgeon's mentality for a place like the University of Chicago. So he was going into surgery, and I was like, yeah, that's my dog, because he gonna fuck him up, because he gonna, you know what I'm saying? He gonna be nasty. But then he decided to go the journalism route, and I was not happy. I was not happy with that.
Amongst many people, by the way.
But then
You weren't happy about what his decisions?
Yeah. Understandably,
we were
here's
like
the
that
reason,
with each
here's
other,
the
you
reason
know?
for it, though. It's because not many of us go into surgery, and I was built for surgery, and I'd matched in orthopedic surgery, which is the hardest match next to neurosurgery. So I had this thing, and so when you see another African American, especially a male, who's doing these things, you want them to keep doing it. But I always felt like for my career, you have to pursue what's nearest and dearest to your heart, and you have to do it in a way you don't have regrets. So even though everyone expected me to do surgery, and I miss surgery, by the way, I don't miss the politics of the hospital, but I really love surgery. Like what he does is not my thing.
Okay.
You know, sitting and talking and analyzing, that's just,
That's not what you're thinking
nah. I'm a cutter. I like to cut. I like to boom, boom, boom. But anyway, so yeah, I just decided that journalism, I like medical journalism. It was great. It was fun. And then it just grew into a thing I never expected.
right, and so then I didn't come to peace with it until maybe
He act like he went through something when
Yeah,
you took a different route.
Like it was his trauma, right?
Right.
I don't think I came to peace with it until like the fitness show.
Celebrity Fit Club.
Yeah, I think because then at that point I said, well, you know, you're treating more people at one time doing this than you ever could as a surgeon. And so I had peace at that. But that it wasn't until then that I came to peace with it, dude. I was pissed.
But he didn't yell at me. But he
He was
you know,
disappointed.
like a brother. He's my brother, so he felt like you did all this and you're not
you're
following
going- now
that,
you're-
and now
now
you're
you're
going
going
this
in
direction.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like you can do this in a way that needs to be done to these assholes right now. That's how I kind of felt. But you know, hey,
You
but then
just wanted him to stick it to somebody. That's what you wanted.
they were sticking it to us.
They were.
They were sticking it to us, man. They didn't miss a chance.
They were.
And so, you know, then I could never decide. So I just went the med psych route and then just figured it out, you know.
Yeah.
So was nutrition something that you really wanted to go into? Like what?
You know what's interesting? When you look back at our medical school, it's different now, a little different. We had 1/2 day of nutrition training as doctors. That's it. Like 4 hours.
That ain't a lot,
And
you know.
and the only reason why most of us went to it was because we got a free lunch afterward. No one paid attention
That's
to
the only reason you guys.
no one paid attention. And so people wondered, why is it that doctors don't understand calories, weight loss, food? Because there was no training.
Right.
And so I never thought I would go into nutrition. I've always been a health nut as far as sports and fitness. But when I was writing a column for Time magazine, so many of my readers were sending me emails asking me questions about weight loss and fat burners, and I knew nothing about it. And they assumed because I'm a doctor, I knew it. I knew nothing about it. And I would write about the Tylenol scare in the country, and I get questions about fat burners, weight loss, da da da. So finally I just said, man, there's something to it. And so a publisher approached me and said, we love your column in Time. Will you write some books? I said, who don't want to write books? And so I said, what do you want me to write about? Whatever you want. And so I decided that because so many of my readers were confused by nutrition and weight loss, that I would do my own research and start doing it. And so I taught myself, and that's why I really got into it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Did it take you a while to get into it? Like, it took a couple of years?
Yeah, it took a couple of years because, it's a whole field of study, right? I had to read, learn, go online.
Okay.
Though online wasn't big back then, that's how long ago it was, by the way. But we had online, but it wasn't like it is now. But yeah, it took a while to understand, what is vitamin B9? What does it do? I mean, stuff that we just didn't learn in med school. Now it's my language, but it took a while to get there. But I like Greg said, I like the fact that rather than, Greg has patients he sees, but I get to see millions of patients through the different platforms I have access to, and that's just a different way of doing medicine.
Yeah,
I think that you should get into something like that because you love
I love
fitness.
doing what I do, though.
But they say
I
that
love patience.
like weight loss, a lot of people say it's a mental thing for them, when they're dealing with their weight.
Oh,
so I've
certainly.
seen a lot of psychiatrists are getting involved with the weight loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I wrote a book called Mind Overweight. It's all mental. There's no diet plan in it. It's a small little book. And the idea was, how do you get people in the right space mentally? Because it really is a mental challenge first. I think with weight loss, it's mental first before it's physical. Then, it's mental, then it's finding the right plan, then executing. But if you don't have the mental in the right space, which is why people like you, are helpful. I mean, I understand it because of sports, right? A lot of sports mental strategies,
Mental toughness
can be applied to a lot of parts of life. But the real,
That's true.
psychological part of it is stuff that you guys do. Understanding what change is, and if you're in the contemplative phase of change or pre-contemplative and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's hard work though, Ian, because the American diet. I mean, what we've become accustomed to eating, the addiction of food is so hard to overcome with so many triggers. It's got to be a really, really conscious effort because you're going against the grain everywhere you turn, and food tastes so good. And,
I feel like it's a component they put in and make you addicted to it.
Of course.
I mean,
To make
sugar, salt tastes good.
Because when I go to other countries,
And
it's
fat.
totally, like, my experience of food is totally different. I may not like it the same and all that, but they don't put as much ingredients that they do in America. Like,
Well, the reason, when you go and you look at the back of a food label and you see 15, 20, 25 ingredients, that tells you right there that the food is not clean, that it's overly processed, full of synthetic ingredients. Most foods, not all, most foods should have 7 ingredients or less. And when you go to other countries, particularly over in Europe, that's how they eat. They eat much cleaner. And a lot of it has to do with the hijacking of the food industry by manufacturers and the government letting them do that, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the money. The government let these manufacturers put addictive, unhealthy ingredients in our foods. We get addicted to it, and we know no other way, and we want more and more and more of it. And manufacturers make a lot of money because the ingredients are very cheap versus, growing produce in the right way, treating it the right way, dyes and synthetics and alcohol, sugars, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, if you could get this one to stop feeding me so much butter. I mean, this woman will butter you up out of there.
You like butter?
I like butter. Now, he thinks that you just don't like how much butter I put in your eggs.
She will butter you around, bruh. She will butter you around.
Well,
So-
you losing weight, so something's working.
Yeah, well, I've had to lose some weight because I'm type 2 diabetes, and so I've had to work on some things. And I'm not perfect because I like food. I still like food. So
You love the pork chop.
Are you controlled?
yes, barely.
Barely.
And so this whole eat your age thing, because she's eating 23 years younger than I am,
I
man.
wouldn't say that exactly.
I would.
What decade are you in?
What decade?
Yeah.
I'm a millennial.
Okay.
So I grew up, honestly, because my parents, they didn't have a lot of time to really cook like that. My mom was in college and all that, had really young parents. So I didn't realize how bad my eating habits was until I got older. I was like, dang, I grew up, we was eating out all the time. My mom, canned goods and
Trying
all
to
that
make
kind
it.
of stuff.
Just trying to make it.
make ends meet,
Yeah. I was there. But this book really says that as we age, decade by decade, our bodies just don't change physically, but they change physiologically, how we process things, biochemical reactions. And when people come to me and say, man, what I'm eating in my 50s, I can't eat like I did in my 30s. That's because your body doesn't process the way. So this book breaks down from your 30s for every decade going to 60s plus. It breaks down what are your top nutrients, what are your best exercises and safest exercises, because what you did in your 30s may not be good for your 60s. But also, what medical tests should you be having? What medical numbers should you know? Like what's your hemoglobin A1C? What are your blood sugar levels? These are things that most African Americans, unfortunately, don't have basic understanding or basic mastery of. And so this book says, I'm going to give you, for each decade, your top nutrients, your top medical tests, your top exercises. I'm going to explain it to you. And then at the end, there's a 30-day customized meal plan so that you can put those nutrients in. So someone like Greg and I are in our 50s. You know, for us, fiber is important. Protein's important because you start losing muscle mass. Fiber really for Greg, because fiber is really good at lowering cholesterol levels and type 2 diabetes. Whole grains are extremely important for him. So, you know, there is a way to treat a lot of these conditions or prevent them by eating. So the purpose of this book is to teach people decade by decade, these are your best foods to eat to hopefully stave off disease or treat it.
So what should I've had for breakfast this morning?
Well, you know, I don't know how well you're controlled, but, you know, the average person, a really good breakfast is some Greek yogurt,
Okay.
some blueberries, some granola, all mixed in together. That's some overnight oats. There's a recipe of overnight oats. They're fantastic. You get fiber, you get protein, you get vitamin C, you get some vitamin D in it, using almond milk. So for me, you know.
You had me to the almond milk.
Okay, well, you don't have to have almond milk.
Put almond milk in your oatmeal.
Can you really taste
You
the
do?
difference?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't really taste the
You don't
difference.
know.
Yeah,
You
see?
don't know what you
See,
do.
there you go. There you go. See?
You
The
think-
woman is the gatekeeper to the family's health. That's a fact. Right? She just proved it right there.
You don't even know what I be doing.
There you
I
go.
was tasting butter.
No,
No,
see?
I don't really put butter in my oatmeal. I don't really put. You asked for it, but I don't really put butter. I put almond milk, and then I put a little bit of agave syrup. Sometimes it's sweet. Yeah.
More omega-3s,
Okay.
fatty fish like salmon, mackerel,
love salmon.
tuna. That's important. Heart health, brain health. Walnuts, flaxseed, chia seeds. These are the kind of things that we have to eat more of as we get older. And for African Americans, unfortunately, you know, we have this aversion to things that we have never tried before, we can't pronounce, like quinoa.
Right. Cause I used to couldn't know
What you trying to give me these?
No, I've been trying to get you to eat quinoa. He don't want it.
Quinoa is fantastic.
What the hell is a quinoa?
It's like
Quinoa
it's
is
like
a upgraded
grain.
rice. It's
Yeah,
a grain,
it's
but
really good.
it's an upgraded rice.
He don't
Upgraded
eat that.
from the health benefits.
I've been trying to get him to eat it, but he doesn't want to eat it.
Okay.
By the way,
Yeah.
this is new information. I didn't know you were.
Yeah. Well, it's not that old of a diagnosis, you know, just last couple years.
Yeah.
But
How do you feel about that?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, being someone who's been fit for a long time, you're a physician. How do you feel to have a diagnosis that you've spent a career knowing that it's not a great diagnosis and it's preventable in most cases, not all cases?
You want the truth?
Yeah.
I feel like I wish I had more time to really like focus on it. Like I do the best I can. You know, I stay so busy, you know, with my day to day that I really don't prioritize it as much as I thought I would if I had something like this come along. Like if you would have told me when we were in medical school that I was going to have, you know, type 2 diabetes, I would have said, oh, okay. I would have thought, knowing what I know, I'd have put my whole life around that. But the reality is I don't put my whole life around it. And that's how I feel about it. Like, I just wish I had, you know, more time for me.
And I'm
But
trying to get you to have more time.
in the
for
meantime,
yourself, you know.
I feel like I do what I do. You know, I try to do the best I can.
But why don't you have more time?
Dude,
Like, what's more important than your health?
other people's health?
He puts.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
I-
he-
But
he's
you
a
can't-
great doctor. He
you-
puts other.
You can't help other
patients
people
out
if you're not healthy yourself. At some point, that's going to run out. Your runway is going to run out before theirs does, and therefore you won't be able to help them.
I don't see that.
there. I want him
I
to
don't
do,
see that. I
like,
mean, I
more
feel
me
too
time.
good. I mean, you know, I feel too good. And
Wait. You don't see what? Your runway running out before theirs?
no, I don't see that.
Well, if you don't make yourself a priority, you will. You know this. This
Well,
is interesting.
I think you know, in a couple years, things are gonna change a little bit. You know, we're trying to change the trajectory of my life.
trying to have a baby.
Trying to have a baby?
Yeah. So
Why are you
know,
talking around it? You need to have a baby. A baby would change your life, by the way.
But I don't think. I just think that I would be willing at that point to really carve back some of the stuff that I do. Not that I'm not willing
I think
now,
you
but
gotta
I just
start
think
now.
it's going to. So then I make it as a higher priority. But I feel good. I'm doing good.
Well, if you feel good and your numbers are good, that's okay.
Yeah.
But your numbers have to match how you feel. You can feel good on the outside, internally not be doing well. So if you're
That's
telling me,
true.
right, if you're telling me internally
I've been there.
your numbers are working and you feel great, then that's A-okay.
Well, I could be doing better, but I feel good, and so I know
How about your blood pressure?
blood pressure's good.
Look at me, I'm doing it. This is turned into like an intervention, like Dr. Ian and Dr. G are like
They say the
intervening.
doctors are the worst patients.
I think
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
I think so, because I think that I need to start going to your appointments with you sometimes. You know?
Yeah, my doctor, he's a good guy. He's up my ass all the time, and he wants you to come. He does.
I'm
and
coming.
What about the stress of your TV show? I don't watch your TV show because it's very. Let me finish. It's very difficult for me to watch my friends in various situations. My friends from Housewives, I stopped watching them because I know them, and I don't want to see my friends in a certain situation, so I had to stop watching. But what about the stress of the TV show? Because your show comes across to me, what I have seen, as sometimes being stressful. Let's be honest with you.
Well, that's a brilliant question, and that's a very good, because I often wonder if I didn't have as much stress in my life in general, would I even have type 2 diabetes? Would I even have high blood pressure? I often ask, because that cortisol is a beast.
There you go.
And so
There you go.
that's a very good question. But then on the flip side, I say to myself, well, all stress is not bad stress.
No,
know,
that's true.
you gotta have some stress.
That's true.
To make
To get
life
you going. Yeah,
interesting,
yeah,
to make
yeah.
you feel like getting up doing something, and without a little bit of pressure, life's no fun. So I think there are times when my stress level needs to come down, but most of the time my stress is right where I like it. It's right where I like it, right there.
But I'm specifically saying, how about, is the show stressful? Do you find the show stressful?
It can be stressful. I have to be honest about it, because I'm trying to have a baby and all that kind of stuff. And
Yes.
of course, some of the antics and the things that we deal with, it's just like, everybody wants a piece of the pie. Everybody wants their time to shine. So they come to you, especially when I'm new. So it's like you're fresh meat. So let me figure out what's going on in your life and let me screw it up. Let me figure out how to screw it up.
So the other day I was watching this episode, right?
You watched
And
that episode.
it was on in the house. It was on.
That was on there.
It was on in the house. I'm not gonna call anybody out who was actually watching it, but it was on, and so I sit there and I'm watching it, and the lady was having a coming out party for her baby
Oh, yeah, that's
Birkin
funny,
bag.
yeah.
So I'm just trying to understand things, right? I'm not being judgmental. I've done TV for many years, right?
Right.
I do
right.
reality TV. I'm just trying to understand things. I just wondered, like, how can I say this? I don't want to get in trouble here. I just wonder whether or not there is a better use of time and energy that could be a little more positive. You can have fun, by the way.
Right.
Fun is great.
Right, fun is
That fun
great.
is fine. But tearing someone else down, maybe it's just against my nature to like try to destroy someone just for the sake of,
Right.
like, if someone deserves, now, you know, I'll work you over if you deserve it. But in general, like the idea of constantly wanting to be at odds with someone just seems stressful to me.
Yeah.
Right? It just-
Internally, I just feel like you're struggling on the inside.
Like it's hard to constantly be edgy against somebody and try to create situations that, you know, really aren't situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
think
just think
just
it's because our show honestly doesn't have enough insightful production. Like, we need a good old, like, one of those, whoever used to do All My Children, we need to get him to come in and do, because
All My
like, you know,
Children.
something might work once and then it gets exaggerated, and then you get what you see, and then we figure out, oh, people are sick of that, and then we have to go in. It's like, it's too much, you know, playing by the seat of your pants. I think they need to have a better formula And then the question is, well, then does it not become reality at that
Right,
point?
exactly.
But then
Yeah.
is that really what they're doing? Really realistic?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
so
think that people should just live their lives, and then natural conflict. Like for example, with the Met Gala, I feel like if we all came to the table and tried to plan something, of course we're gonna bump heads with certain things.
You guys went to the Met Gala?
Yeah, we went.
Not the Met
not
Gala.
the Met Gala. We had
Oh.
the.
he
This
went to the Met Gala.
Okay, we ain't there. Okay,
No, we went to the
C-listers,
Med
we
Gala.
Oh,
the
Med
Med
Gala,
Gala.
Med Gala.
Yeah. We
the
can get
Met
you a
Gala is
ticket
supposed to
next
be
year.
a playoff of the
I got
Met
you.
Gala.
Okay, I like that.
Right,
I like
and
that.
so
Listen, I wasn't good enough to get invited to it, so that's saying something.
right.
I was invited to the Met Gala.
So yeah, the
You
Met.
just get your invitation, man.
It's just like the Met Gala. We were really we did this thing for Cure for Moms, and we donated money.
Mhm.
We donated $100,000 and for Cure for Moms, and I just feel like right now the message is getting lost in all of this because of course, like everybody's focusing on the drama behind it, and I'm just like, we're not really focused on what's important because Charles got up there. He talked about how his wife had lost her life giving birth to her second child, and Black women are not heard enough, know, and so, but like it's just being on reality TV. It's my second year. I'm on my sophomore year, and it's just I'm still trying to figure it out, and it's kind of hard just coming in with a group of people that are well seasoned, and then they're thirsty for that check. They're thirsty.
So let me ask you a
for that
question.
spot.
Do you think that if things were less spicy and more positive, that it wouldn't play well with the audience? What do you think? You think the audience would not watch
I
it?
think there's an audience for every show as long as it's entertaining. The audience might shift a bit, but there's an audience for every show as long as it's entertaining and done well. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think so too. I mean, we have our YouTube channel, and I do review the show, but also we've been doing like just fun stuff with just me and him. And so I looked at the target, like who's been watching our videos. It's been like between the age of like 35 to 40, I believe.
Well, you thought it was going to be younger demographic?
I thought it would be younger, but it's actually a lot older than I thought. And a lot of people are turning to YouTube to watch YouTube versus just reality TV.
Yeah.
Regular TV.
I mean, I watched Love is Blind, Married at First Sight. Those are my shows.
We love them too.
Married at First Sight, those are my shows. This
We
season's a
love
mess,
those.
by the way. It's an absolute mess. But
that's authentic TV because they're the first. When they come in, they have a whole brand new cast when they come in,
That's
and
right.
it's fresh.
That's right.
And it's
That's
real
exactly
to
right.
them.
That's exactly
And
right.
so I just think that after a while, I think that you got to change up the formula. You can't.
Otherwise, it becomes like a scripted
Right.
drama,
It's just,
right?
Yeah.
It's less reality and more kind of like.
It's not good. And so a lot of people, the fans that I do have, they're like, I really just appreciate you just being yourself. Like, I can relate to that. I want to look at somebody I relate to. And in the past, when I watched reality TV, I just kind of felt like, let me watch something that I can. One, I want to take my mind off something, but also I do want to relate to someone on TV. I want to say like, okay, this person, they're going through this. This is how they dealt with that situation. I've been in that same situation.
Yeah.
And so I always think about just being authentic and being relatable, and how the thing is for me, I just feel like for example, Candy had lost her boyfriend, years ago on Real Housewives.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever that happened to me, I lost an ex-boyfriend. Like I was just looking for anybody that's been through that. I found myself like researching like who's been through this. Like I don't know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
I couldn't shake the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually like looked her up, and I was like, oh, she lost her. I just started to read things about that.
No, I mean there are some things about reality TV that are very positive. Very positive.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's what we've always hoped with this show, is that there be enough balance that people can read between the lines and get some, positive messages out of it.
But we're losing the message.
I'm gonna tell you, if that episode I saw is an indication, your balance ain't ready yet.
Our balance ain't ready.
I'm gonna talk straight up, man. That balance, y'all still got work on that balance. No, but I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad you guys are doing the YouTube channel. I always believe that take those big platforms, use that as a springboard for something that you can control, and then you can control the messaging and the aura and the environment, and But sometimes you gotta kind of be over here to get over here. I understand that. That's how it works.
Well, that's a fact, but I never looked at it as being over. I'm still myself. I get caught up in some situations with this show, but I'm still me.
Have you gotten
still
better?
love people. Have I gotten better in terms of?
In terms of how you comport yourself. Now, you talk about he was disappointed in me. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to get into it, but I've known Greg for a long time. And some of the behavior in the earlier seasons of the show were I didn't recognize that guy.
Right.
So I was very disappointed.
Well, it wasn't that guy. I mean, a lot of times the way they, edit things.
I understand.
and the
I know
story
that
they
too.
tell-
Right. The audience doesn't realize that you shoot hundreds and hundreds of hours, and
right.
they
And then you
choose.
haven't even get to this point, right?
Yeah,
and that's what we're gonna hear.
I agree with you on that. By the way, I agree on that. But I was just wanting, he's a professional at one of the best medical schools in the country, who's very good at what he does. I just always want people to respect him for,
Yes.
because that's very difficult to do that, and not to get it lost because some editor is putting you in a position, and then cutting a show and making you look what you are not. That's all. But
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
appreciated.
and I
That's
agree.
appreciated.
yeah.
I agree
So
with that.
you're gonna make a
We're gonna make a recipe from here because you're gonna teach us how to unbig our backs.
Dang, everyone's talking about big backs these days. Someone else will be. Yeah, I'm
Say
gonna.
it like a football player.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm gonna unbig your back. I'm gonna lower your cholesterol levels and your blood pressure
Yes.
and your sugar. Your sugar.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
should you okay, I know you have it for eat your age, but also I know a lot of people talk about eating for your blood type. Like what I'm
I have no idea.
confused.
I have no idea where that came from.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't know this. Understand the science, if there is any science. Listen. I'm not. I don't want to be pejorative and way I speak about someone else's program. I just. But anyway, I hope you guys will make a recipe. What do you like?
I like.
Do you like
a little bit of
fish? You
everything.
like
I
chicken?
love
He
fish.
he loves fish.
Let's do a seafood dish.
eat that all the
Toast with
time.
poached eggs. Spinach mushroom omelet.
What's your favorite?
porridge? Bruh,
I like the sweet potato and black bean tacos.
let's see
That's
that.
different.
And the
This-
salmon,
this
page
porridge
73.
It's with salmon?
No, but you can do it. Page 73. That's what I like. It's fiber, it's protein. I'm not eating as much meat anymore. Red meat is not good as you get older.
Do you grill the salmon?
I grilled the salmon. See, it's simple. All these recipes are simple. It gives you the nutritional
Chili powder,
information,
you
tells
can
Two
Two
you
tablespoons of olive oil, not butter.
olive oil, monounsaturated fats, which he needs for his heart. It raises the good cholesterol, lowers the bad cholesterol. Mufas, we call them.
Rufus.
Babe, let's do this one.
It's good. It's delicious. It's easy.
And
It's
I
easy.
love a taco.
Yeah, you season it.
I'm a Texan, so
You like it?
I love tacos.
Yeah.
Salmon tacos.
6 boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 1 cup of marinara, shredded mozzarella, grated parmesan, breadcrumbs, Italian seasoning, salt and pepper to taste.
And that's it. Look at that. Look at the ingredients. That's it. These are simple,
Yeah,
easy
simple.
recipes,
You
right?
don't-
Not 20. You could make it more complicated, but why?
That's what's up.
Are you going to cook or is she going to cook?
We cook together.
We cook
Oh,
together.
okay.
on our show.
Okay, good, okay. I want to see how it turns out. I'm interested. So I have a group that I'm helping go through the Eat Your Age plan. The name of the group on Facebook is called Eat Your Age. That simple. So join it. It's free. I give a weekly coaching session. We got hundreds of people doing it together. And the books you can get on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, or Barnes & Noble and Walmart and Target.com. So it's everywhere. But Instagram at Dr. Ian Smith, spell the doctor out, I-A-N Smith. I just got on TikTok, by the way.
Oh,
I-
after the man. Wait,
So-
after the man or before?
Right before.
Okay.
I was like, I'm just getting a little momentum, and then they man the thing.
Oh.
Anyway, TikTok is the official Dr. Ian, D-R-I-A-N. So hey, follow me on TikTok. So all right, y'all, good talking to you, huh?
Absolutely, man.
Nice.
We got to get up with the rest of the people.
Thank
Thank you guys. It was awesome.